just after we started recording on Monday afternoon, CBO actually weighed in on the Senate healthcare bill. And these are mainly just top line numbers, and I'm going to throw them at you so we can break some news, at least to you, on this recording, that the Senate healthcare bill will cause 15 million people to lose their insurance within the first year, 22 million over 10 years. And the impact will be very disparate based on age. For instance, premiums for a 64-year-old at middle income will go up from $6,800 a year under the ACA to $20,500 under the Senate healthcare bill. And obviously, this is a bill for which there hasn't been a single hearing, the text of which has been updated even just today. So, and it will continue to change as they try to pass it. So
that's unconscionable.
Right.
You know, when you get down to it, look, put all this partisan politics aside. What is this all about? This is about Americans. This is about people. This is about Republicans and Democrats and independents, all folks out here, most of whom are working hard and just trying to get a piece of that American dream. And, I mean, if we're truly trying to do something to make people's lives better, how in the world can you justify a bill that has those kinds of consequences? I mean, you talk about putting politics over people. I mean, that's all they're doing. They have to have a win, I guess. I mean, this is not good for anybody, Republicans or Democrats, but for some reason, you know, they've got to have a partisan political win, even if it's passing one of the worst bills that has been proposed in generations that is going to do so much harm to the American people. It is unconscionable.
So as we were pointing out before, or as I was hinting at before, there are actually a couple of plot twists in this episode. One is that you established proof of concept for the ACA as a Democrat in a conservative state. So we have a pretty strong sense from what you were able to do in your last couple of years in office that if every state in the country adopted your model, you would have a very vibrant, half private insurance based, half public insurance based insurance expansion that would cover 90+% of the population, more than 90%, I think, approaching 95%. The other twist is that the person leading the legislative effort to wipe out those gains is Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. And I know the two of you have a history, so I was wondering if you'd tell us a little bit about that and about how you've seen McConnell's conduct in public life change over the years, and particularly over these last few months as Republicans have come to power.
Well, Mitch McConnell and I were in law school together. We go that far back. And, you know, when Mitch first got into elective office, he was elected as a county judge executive, which is the head of our biggest county over in Louisville, Jefferson County. And he was a fairly liberal Republican. He was pro-choice. He had support of many of the labor unions in that area. And, you know, I've just watched as time has gone on and as his party has continued to evolve, he's evolved too. And he has moved to a point to where, you know, it's totally almost, I'll take whatever position I need to take to have the power I want to have. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's now Majority Leader of the United States Senate. But the positions he takes today have no relationship to who he was back when he first started in politics. And it's really deplorable when you look at what his actions, particularly on this bill, will do to his own constituents. I mean, it is going to not only damage people's lives, he's going to cost people their lives. People will die because of legislation like this if it passes, not only in Kentucky, but all across this country. Now, you know, you'll get Republicans, some of them say, oh, you're just over-dramatizing this. Let me tell you something. as a governor, you got your feet on the ground down here in the real world, not up there in ethereal Washington, D.C. And my phone rings off the hook. You know, a mother called me the other day whose son has hemophilia. And she's terrified that when they jerk their health care coverage, she's not going to be able to afford the medicines that keep her son alive. A father I ran into down on the street the other day has a daughter in drug rehab. And he is terrified because if he doesn't have the coverage, he can't afford it. And he knows she'll die. Because if you don't have that coverage, you know, that's what's going to happen. I mean, those are the kinds of things that are going on out here. People in nursing homes are up in arms because they may end up getting thrown out. This is just, I mean, you know, some of these folks talk about how Christian they are. And look, I'm the son of a Baptist preacher. I grew up going to church every time the door is open. But part of that upbringing was, you know, leaving this place a little better off than the way you found it and living the golden rule as opposed to just quoting it during political campaigns. And man, oh man, how can these folks, you know, call themselves Christian or godly or anything else like they do all the time, and then take this kind of attitude and intentionally want to pass stuff that will destroy people's lives. It's amazing to me that they can get up and look themselves in the mirror in the morning and not be so ashamed that they have to just go back to bed.